1. What is an HVAC refrigeration cycle? An HVAC refrigeration cycle is the process of heat transfer that uses a refrigerant to remove heat from a space and transfer it to another space. The refrigerant is a fluid that circulates through the system, absorbing heat in one location and releasing it in another. 2. How does an HVAC refrigeration cycle work? An HVAC refrigeration cycle typically consists of four main components: the compressor, condenser, evaporator, and expansion valve. The compressor compresses the refrigerant, which causes it to heat up. The condenser then cools the refrigerant, which causes it to condense into a liquid. The liquid refrigerant then flows through the expansion valve, which reduces its pressure and temperature. The refrigerant then evaporates in the evaporator, absorbing heat from the surrounding air. The cycle then repeats. 3. What are the different components of an HVAC refrigeration cycle? The different components of an HVAC refrigeration cycle include: compressor. The compressor compresses the refrigerant, which causes it to heat up. Condenser. The condenser cools the refrigerant, which causes it to condense into a liquid. Evaporator. The evaporator allows the refrigerant to evaporate, absorbing heat from the surrounding air. Expansion valve. The expansion valve reduces the pressure and temperature of the refrigerant. 4. What are the different types of HVAC refrigeration cycles? There are two main types of HVAC refrigeration cycles: vapor compression cycles and absorption cycles. Vapor compression cycles are the most common type of HVAC refrigeration cycle. They use a refrigerant to absorb heat from a space and transfer it to another space. Absorption cycles use a heat source to drive the refrigeration cycle. They are less common than vapor compression cycles and are typically used in applications where electricity is not available or is expensive. 5. How to calculate the cooling capacity of an HVAC refrigeration cycle. The cooling capacity of an HVAC refrigeration cycle is the amount of heat that it can remove from a space in a given amount of time. It is typically measured in British thermal units per hour, BTU per hour. To calculate the cooling capacity of an HVAC refrigeration cycle, you will need to know the following information: the refrigerant type, the evaporator temperature, the condenser temperature, the compressor efficiency. Once you have this information, you can use the following formula to calculate the cooling capacity of the HVAC refrigeration cycle. Cooling capacity equals refrigerant flow rate, evaporator enthalpy, condenser enthalpy, compressor efficiency. 6. How to improve the efficiency of an HVAC refrigeration cycle. There are a number of things that you can do to improve the efficiency of an HVAC refrigeration cycle, including insulating the system to reduce heat loss, using a high-efficiency compressor, maintaining the system properly. Please check description for much more.